On the front lines of the resistance, each and every morning, we here are committed to alerting you of the threats that are posed by Donald Trump and his incoming administration. We can't cover our eyes and close our ears to this reality, and I hope that you take these warnings, and I'm not giving them to you to scare you, it's to alert you so you can share with family, friends, and coworkers so we all know what's going on and we can plan how to deal with it. So Donald Trump's top candidate to become Attorney General is an individual by the name of Mike Davis. Mike Davis has been very busy posting on social media since Donald Trump has won the election. Here are the types of things that Mike Davis is posting. He says that the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, should go to a gulag. So to be very clear, the top pick for Donald Trump to be Attorney General is calling on New York Attorney General Letitia James to go to a gulag. He also is saying that he should be referred to as Viceroy Mike Davis and that he's looking for deputy badges for his deputies as well. He also posted "noted" as a threat next to the venture capitalist for Kamala, implying that he would go after companies, I don't know how else you can take it, who supported Vice President Kamala Harris. He also posted the following. Again, this is who would be replacing Merrick Garland if things go as they seem that they're going. Mike Davis writes, "Dear Trump job seekers, long time no chat. Before asking me for help, I'm going to ask you to provide me specific and concrete evidence of your loyalty to Trump. If you cannot provide a lot of that, stop asking me. Political appointments require both competency and loyalty." He then responds to somebody calling for January 6thers ready to be pardoned. And Mike Davis says justice is coming, implying that Donald Trump will pardon all of the January 6th insurrectionists. He also went on Benny Johnson's show earlier in the day, right-wing podcaster Benny Johnson, and said that he would put Letitia James' fat ass in prison. Again, this is the individual who would be replacing Merrick Garland, it seems, saying that he's going to put Letitia James' fat ass in prison, as he says. Here, play this clip.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
Shifting gears, now the media thinks that it's worthy of reporting on what Donald Trump's tariffs actually mean. Of course, corporate media wanted to cover all of this up, but now Business Insider is posting headlines like this: "Get ready for inflation and interest rates to rise again." Well, great work reporting that now, because we here at the MeidasTouch Network have been reporting about that each and every day, but it was a very lonely fight while no one else was basically talking about it. By the way, this one account says it, I think, succinctly right here. So as of today, as of right now, inflation is 2.1%, unemployment is 4%, GDP is growing 3%, manufacturing is booming and only getting better. The economic boom you're about to credit Trump with was brought to you by Joe Biden, and when it crashes, let's be clear, that is 100% on Donald Trump. And we're seeing lots of messages like this as well. This is from Andy, who goes, "One of my general contractors I partner with is a Trump guy. We want a new job that will start next year. I just told him I won't honor today's materials pricing past January. He asked why. I said, tariffs could cause 100% increases in the supplies. and I would send new pricing in the spring. He said, but I have to sign the fixed price contract with them tomorrow. And there you have it. One lesson learned, 2 days too late. Too bad, so sad. Here's another story. Results have already started. This is from an American woman today. My husband works for a small manufacturing company here in southwestern Pennsylvania. That means most employees are Trump voters. When the president of the company sat them down today to tell them that their annual Christmas bonus would not come this year because they now need to purchase at least a year's worth of products prior to January 21st due to the proposed tariffs, they did not understand. My husband said that their president had to explain what a tariff is and how it will directly hurt the economy. They all thought the foreign company paid the tariff, not their company. This is the level of ignorance voting against their own interest here in Pennsylvania, where we failed American women and children last night. Another comment here. In construction, at the end of the day yesterday, we received an email from our CEO, price increases beginning on December 6th. I don't even want to think about the custom glass skylight price hike that is coming. Their quotes are only good for 10 days. I've also reported that RFK Jr. Seems poised to take on some advisory role and get rid of vaccines, ban vaccines, and also ban fluoride in water. That's what they're going with, banning fluoride in water. But here's a table indicating, just so you can see, how vaccines have been one of the most successful achievements in the history of human health. But Donald Trump is now putting RFK Jr. in charge of that and in charge of women generally. Should be noted, too, that the January 6th insurrectionists feel that Trump is going to pardon them all on day one. A judge has denied a January 6th defendant's bid to stave off sentencing in the hope of receiving a pardon for Trump. At least this federal judge has stood up to this January 6th insurrectionist and said the potential future exercise of discretionary pardon power is irrelevant to the court's obligation to carry out the court's legal responsibilities today. One of the other things that's worth talking about is Donald Trump reportedly does not want to use any former generals to lead the national security team. Instead, he wants businessmen and CEOs like potentially Dana White. So potentially you may have Dana White as a Secretary of Defense or in the national security apparatus. Also, massive amounts of racist statements being sent by MAGA followers have been sent out to a lot of people, such that the FBI had to make a statement on offensive and racist text messages. The FBI is aware of the offensive and racist text messages sent to individuals around the country, and it is in contact with the Justice Department and other federal authorities on the matter. As always, we encourage members of the public to report threats of physical violence to local law enforcement authorities. Another thing to report, Vladimir Putin congratulated Donald Trump today. Let me show you what Vladimir Putin said. Play this clip.
То, что было сказано по стремлению восстановить отношения с Россией, способствовать завершению украинского кризиса. Мне, на мой взгляд, кажется, это заслуживает внимания, как минимум. И я, пользуясь случаем, хочу поздравить его с избранием на пост президента Соединенных Штатов Америки. Я уже говорил, что мы...
Meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene's name is being floated to lead the Homeland Security Department. At the same time, Donald Trump and his allies in the private sector are preparing for bloody mass deportations, where they will be knocking ostensibly on the homes of some of their voters, too, who voted to deport their family members. If you don't believe me, I'll show you in a second so you can see what, again, Donald Trump's top AG pick is saying that they're going to do. But anyway, they're preparing for the bloody mass deportations to begin. And of course, you know, we will be supporting any legal challenges to bloody mass deportations and doing whatever we can do to stop human beings getting bloodied up by government officials and having their homes raided and potentially them getting killed by government officials. So if you go, whoa, 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 Ben, look, maybe you have a family member who voted for Trump who, who said, look, they're not coming after me. You know, I'm not a criminal or whatever. Well, let me show you again. I started this video with Mike Davis. who was actually a former clerk for Justice Gorsuch, who's on the Supreme Court. So anything he does is going to get also rubber stamped by the Supreme Court because he's worked with Justice Gorsuch. And so just so you can hear what Mike Davis is saying about the mass deportations, he goes, there's a list. It's about 10 million people and growing, and anchor babies also. So even if you were here legally, you're gone too. Anchor babies, parents, grandparents. We're going to put kids in cages, and it's going to be glorious. You don't believe me? Here he says it in his own words. Here, play this clip.
Mike, I've never called for lava to rain down from the heavens, but maybe upon Washington, D.C. Would you be that sweet red hot lava for us?
I've never been called sweet, and you call me Sweet Ginger. So I think I meant, Ben. During my 3-week reign of terror as Trump acting attorney general, before I get chased out of town with my Trump pardon, I will rain hell on Washington, D.C. We've talked about this, Ben. I have 5 lists ready to go, and they're growing. List number 1, we're going to fire. We're going to fire a lot of people in the executive branch and the deep state. Number 2, we're going to indict. We're going to indict Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and James Biden and every other scumball, sleazeball Biden, except for the 5-year-old granddaughter who they refused to acknowledge for 5 years until the political pressure got to Joe Biden. Number 3, we're going to deport. We're going to deport a lot of people, 10 million people and growing, anchor babies, their parents, their grandparents. We're going to put kids in cages. It's going to be glorious. We're going to detain a lot of people in the D.C. Gulag and Gitmo. And list number 5, I'm going to recommend a lot of pardons. Every January 6th defendant is going to get a pardon, especially my hero Horn Man. He is definitely at the top of the pardon list.
We actually went out and have some upcoming content with Jacob Chansley. We did a podcast interview with him. Went out into the desert. We wanted to learn about shamanism, so we went out into the desert with him. We'll be releasing that video pretty soon, actually, and I think you'll like it quite a bit, Mike.
And folks, the reason I shared with you all of these video clips, again, I'm not trying to be just to like scare you or whatever. Look, as the front line to resist this stuff, we have to know what's up, and we're sharing the data with you. I mean, in my own view, this is not American. This is anti-American stuff, and this is very dangerous. So knowledge is power. Share this with people that you know, family members, coworkers. Let them know. Let them hear it in their own words. It's critical that that happens. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, and let's get to 4 million subscribers.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.